They just keep running at each other.
Full health, full mana. He's probably gonna TP mid for the bottle.
Mid-game, come on, spam it out. I'm coming.
For another go into Ori too if the opportunity presents itself. And yeah, immediately refill bottle there. And XXS a little bit zoned out there by Matumba Man.
Likewise though, of course, with Bobica going down, we'll do the same thing for Ori. Get the juices flowing and the arcane runes complete there. They're gonna find Insania. That's a juicy Crystal Maiden, and well, she's got wind lace, but you know, she has no boots to lace, so she's still really slow.
That's true.
It's a 3v2. The 50-50, who wins?
Oh, Mickey gets it. Regen too. That would have been huge for Ori. And we'll head right on in and start stealing some of these camps away.
They play around the Shadow Fiend really nicely. They're always constantly bringing supports mid, securing his runes, but...
Oh, they were around the Shadow Fiend though.
Mickey in some trouble. Do have the rebound, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep him alive. So they do make a solid move by Aster. Take down Mickey. 9-5. Everything just happening around mid. That was a split too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was a split, so... I mean, worth, obviously. Early split to kill a mid player, you'll take.
Zai is now level 6, he's holding his point. They don't really want to go to him before the Helmet of the Dominator. So Monet is just going to kind of be very confident in his lane, farming up very nicely. He's top of the net worth and the last hits. So it's going to be pretty much up to Monet. It's his choice of, oh, do I want to go jungle? Do I want to go top? We could even see him maybe in the next minute or two with the next split, TPing to the off lane, trying to pressure the Ursa out of the lane. Because again, Ursa does not jungle as well as a Terrorblade. So breaking down these safe lanes is kind of going to be the next big goal of these teams.
They are bringing a couple other heroes up to the top side now. CM making the rotation as Boxy is already over there. Don't know if that's going to turn into anything.
I feel like Boxy's just trying to force a TP. Like, yeah, he's just been under a ward for a long time. They do come out to get it out. Nice job from Insania. Gets the D ward there with the help of a courier. Doesn't have to waste his Crystal Nova mana because you need every little drop of mana you can get on a CM.
Everyone's trying to force rotations without making them. Both of the supports sitting next to their carries in the safe lanes and they're poking, trying to make them be like, oh, we have to TP. And then that's when they flip the map.
Yeah.
But right now, everyone just being very careful, being calculated. No one's doing anything too crazy. No one's diving towers.
I swear, this is the longest I've seen a TB in lane in quite a while. I feel like every time I'm watching TB, he's getting set. I mean, he usually was like more of a draft priority, I guess, right? He was getting banned more often, so. And he's picked a bit later, actually getting a chance to farm the creep waves is pretty crazy.
Zai is just farming up that stack right there. A nice little injection of gold for himself. As he's going to try and leave the rest of these 3 points up in the axes. And the CM aura certainly helping along the way, as there's also a good ancient stack there. So this is going to be the Helm of the Dominator coming out for Zai, while we are still waiting for that push out of that safe lane, and you can see that Monet has made a bit of a rotation into the jungle now.
So this game, Liquid is actually going to play for a slower timing. If anything, it looks like Batu is going to go for a Battle Fear in the Ursa. They're playing to not feel pressured. The one really nice thing about it is now Brew cannot end his split early. The Ags doesn't the ability to end the split, so it's always the full duration. So once he gets BKB Battle Fear, he can just clear through the primal split, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Smoke down bottom, and Aster won't manage to find anybody except for maybe Insania here, who's hanging out mid. They run into him. Cookie won't quite connect. Does have the split earth, but it's not there either. So Aster miss on everything. But Zai, in the meantime, you see he's going to finish off the ancient stack. He'll use the glyph here to take down the tower.
They are glyphing as well for the Radiant, though, of course, because mid lane, they got the Catapult, they got Shadow Fiend, and Boxy's hiding behind the trees, but it's a Brewmaster, and he goes instantly for the split.
And Boxy gets a little bit of a separation, haste away from SF. They're clear and clean and out.
He was trying to hope to dispel the haste, I think, but Mickey got away, and Boxy kind of made the space for him to be able to run.
Yeah, there was even a sentry down too in case he tried to go for like a Storm Panda play or something. It's the worst to like not get a kill with a Bruce split this early. I feel like you defended the tower, right? It was a one hero rotation to ensure that it stayed up.
I think it also feels good just because they were able to make a move to their safe lane and take the tower. So again, now Monet's kind of, once you take this offlane tower, your carry's able to freely leave the lane, it's a lot easier to push the lane out so that you have way more time before your tower gets hit. Now he can just TP, he can farm the Ancients.
Snapfire ulti down onto Mickey, trying to catch him. Slowed down for the moment. Boxy under fire will get brought down, and Mickey dropped the Requiem. A quick connection for the kill. As again, supports die, but a bunch of big ultis used on Aster.
Okay, it actually feels crazy to me that an Ursa takes the 1.75 mana regen with a Battle Fury and a Crystal Maiden on this team.
Yeah.
It's really the reset time's that bad? That's how bad that talent is?
It depends on a lot of the matchups in the game mostly. It's more if you can't really latch onto a hero. I've seen it a lot versus like a Medusa. Because when she pops her Stone Gate, you have to reset. Right. And have the ability to take these really long fights. But I think Liquid's kind of hoping to just be able to roar someone, he gets on them, and that's all that matters. He just will kill them in a roar.
He just wants to spam. He just wants to farm it up on this Ursa. So Matu, just all the mana in the world for this bear.
And you can see that Zai also going for a little bit of a unorthodox build from what we've seen before on these Beastmasters, going 4-4-0. So not really opting to get that physical damage boost up. They still will get some good pressure onto that bottom tier 1 tower here now.
Yeah, a lot of the time where Beastmasters, when they're getting early pick, the idea was that you pick an illusion hero because that would be able to kill the boars in the lane and it would kind of counter them. So the change was that Beastmasters started maxing axes because the illusion heroes have high armor but low health pools. So it's pretty much just a change to deal with the Terrorblade in the lane. That's why he was actually able to last it, and that's why his game is actually not terrible. If anything, it's actually better than the Brewmasters.
Right.
So it was a nice adjustment to the lane in the game.
Is under attack.
So Aster, as they move up towards the north, Boxy runs in above a cut.
The instant turn.
Everybody's afraid.
That tells the tale of this game, huh?
Yeah.
We're just relaxing here. Vision-wise, it's Liquid a slight edge in terms of those deep wards. It's kind of been the constant of this whole match, but Aster feeling comfortable enough still to make this move to the top tower. Even with the lack of vision, they can always just send out some illusions if they've got some questions.
Radiant's middle tower
Down
is
bottom,
under attack.
Success queuing up, trying to finish off that Wraith pack again.
I think, again, this game, Liquid is going to be the team that's playing for controlling areas of the map. Shadow Fiend doesn't have a jump, Beastmaster doesn't go blink for a while, Ursa has a Battle Fury. They want to hold either their jungle with their Ancients or they want to hold, you know, probably the Radiant big jungle, the bot lane. And on the side of Aster, they just hit their timings and they want to just keep going. Every time they have split, once they have this Bloodstone, once Monet, every time he has meta, he's able to walk into Roche, he's able to walk at towers. So we're going to see Aster's going to try to do a lot more of the aggressive plays, and Liquid's going to try to keep getting their timings, keep farming up, play a slightly slower game, but they always want to be ready to fight.
I feel like these fights are going to get pretty wild once they start happening, though. Like, like look how this Lich wants to play this fight, right?
Yeah.
Like this Chain Frost just bouncing around, as well as the Frost Shield, doing so much work in this game.
The Lich is a similar replacement to the Sven from last game, where it just kind of enabled his team to walk in and just never died physical damage, specifically from the SF. And now there's SF and Ursa, so there's so much physical damage that this Ori's able, with this Bloodstone, I think he can probably just walk into 4 or 5 heroes and probably survive.
And like they need to clump, right? Like the Ursa, the Mars, and the Beastmaster, they tend to really get in there. And so
even all the summons,
that Chain Frost goes in there. Like hopefully the summons are gonna have to tank some of this up, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's going to be the thing that they hope to. The other thing to watch for again is that whereas Sven in last game you had that AoE extra survivability, for this it's just that Frost Shield with single target. So maybe can, you know, change up their target prioritization a little bit depending on how it goes.
Ooh, accelerating.
Okay, they get out the ulti. Can they get away on Matumba Man? When everybody rotating in, this was a nice move by Aster, and they'll take down the bear. Huge kill.
This is where Liquid would typically run it out. They're hesitating, right? They're thinking about it. They start going, they stop, go, stop.
They find one to return though. Sania right on top. The stun, it doesn't connect, but the Requiem very nicely played with the dispose. Double ulti for the kill, and now more chasing going on as they do have a stop available. XXS kind of in a weird spot now. Connects with the stun. The rest of the team trying to catch up and get into position. They're a little ways away, but they got him. The pullback, have dispose for round 2, pull him in, and Sania's there. Cookie for round 3. Can they kill her off? Yes, they will.
And at the same time, Mickey takes that mid tower with the help of a catapult there. So Liquid getting a lot done in those moments after losing their Ursa, taking advantage of the fact that Bruce Split was down.
Another interesting adjustment I see is that Mickey actually went for a Falcon Blade this game. I think usually the Shadow Fiends, I think even last game he went for the Dragon Lance before the BKB. So I think that's also kind of an indicator of how they want to play. Generally you go Dragon Lance because of the value it adds when you push towers.
bitten off a little bit more they could chew there on E.O.E. No SF means not an easy chance for a kill, and of course, as we saw, the Frost Shield makes it tough.
But now Roche is starting to be forced.
There's no secrets here. They're seeing everything with the wards they have down on ASTER, so they're going to move their way right to the pit.
Starting to build up. 2 stacks so far. They hit him with both. Chain Frost around. They're going to get him. Yes, they will. E.O.E goes down. Now looking for more. XXS backing away and does have to run.
Look at Boxy go.
X, dude, still chasing. He's so low. Such low HP on Boxy. Trying to get away. Might just be able to the rebound. How is this hero fair? Oh my god. That was so sick.
Zai was trying to send in the Centaur as well to help.
That space created because this Roach is going down. They're so close to finishing off. XXS wants to run in, but now they're committed. Monet chases forward. Good setup. Can they do it enough for the kill? Mickey in trouble. That's 1 kill, 1 time dead. XXS brought down low. Insania doing a bunch with that ultimate. They pull back in that Shadow Fiend. Mickey, Requiem to buy a little bit of space to chase down. They keep on wanting to fight, but Tumbleweed's alive. Chase dead. Monet, he doesn't have more Metamorphosis left. I don't think they can chase anymore, but Liquid, they win the Roche, they win the fight.
Just like Dota.
Oh, Boxy. This guy, I don't even know how he does it. No HP that entire fight, keeps coming back in for the rebounds, abusing those low cooldowns. And Liquid, I'm sure, getting a little bit worried there as that was starting to end, but taking down XXS and really, again, punishing the lack of ultimate on the Brewmaster.
It looked a little scary. Mickey's BKB was cooldown, so when he dies the first time, there's a chance they burst him, but no stuns, I think, were available. And also something...
This was so long ago now, it feels like, when this all began.
So much damage from the double damager and shoot through the Frost Shield.
I think also, you know, that's a moment where as a Lesh, you might feel like you're safe, but as soon as that first raise hits, the second one comes in and you're slowed. Look at this.
50 HP, 1 to 2 charges, gets back out.
Man.
Then he returns twice more as well from Boxy, just absolutely ridiculous.
Well, and that's so important because the Marcy just being able to give that sidekick over to these cores is so much of what makes this hero insane in the later stages.
And it's what helped finish the Roche off, right? And then this is where things look scary. Tina gets have a full ulti. This thing just keeps on going, helping to bring down XXS despite having the Frost Shield on top. And then manages to walk out as well at low HP.
I think one of the cool things, which is it's actually what started this fight, and it's why Boxy lived, is that he is a casual cloak. There's actually 3 of them in this game. Both E.O.E and the Lich, I think, yeah, have the cloaks right now. So you can see a lot of the teams have started to do, they pick a lot of these early game damage heroes. Even Shadow Fiend does so much magic damage in the early game, and just these casual cloaks can turn these fights. He has 50 HP, that's purely because of the cloak he buys. And it turns the whole fight around. Boxy being able to live there.
Yeah, well, he's feeling very magical right now as Mickey eyeing up the Arcane Blink as well. It's come up after this. Has the Fairies Trinket, so the full mage build is in effect.
Certainly, we would love to see a game number 3, as we always do in these pivotal matchups here for the upper bracket. See if it ends up happening or not, but a BKB on the Ursa. And the next couple of minutes, I want to see where this item progression goes for the Terrorblade. What he ends up looking towards next. That Scotty, obviously, really important for you know, stopping any of that extra regen you get from the sidekick, stealed all the rest of it.
Yeah, the Scotty really puts the pressure on your initiation as Liquid, because if the fight's not good, you don't get a great burst on an important target. That's where a Terrorblade can really start turning around this fight with that Scotty. You just get kited out, you can't finish things off the way you want to.
I think it's probably going to be a BKB after the Scotty, just to never get feared by the Shadow Fiend. If you get BKB off before you get roared and the Lich armors you, you also probably won't die. You always get your Sunder off, but now we see a smoke from Liquid.
That Radiant's
bottom tower is under attack.
Connected, so they knew this was coming, and instead they're trying to counteract it. They are going to make the call to head down
like
for this bottom lane. They run right into Mickey. He will back out of there. Zai also still standing steady, but everybody just back behind the tower. Now, Terrorblade is not here. Can TP into the fight? Might be a little bit scary. Insania
Just on the last track leave.
Chase Mickey, big ulti, but he doesn't get it off in time to stop the split. It might still be enough. The Tumba Man trying to beat through those Brewlings, but they didn't get the Earth Panda. Now, Snapfire Ultimate still has Enrage. They get all the big ultis out.
Dire's top tower is under
Doesn't feel the worst for ASTER. They used 3 ults, but they at least got the fight to be forced. They used Liquid to press their BKBs. They defended their tower, so they might even look to smoke up and try to catch the Shadow Fiend off, you know, off guard.
Feels scary though, the Brew split. He's not easy to have a good fight.
I guess the danger of having the Leshrac and all the power that he can bring to the fight, if they can get on top of that SF, could be pretty huge.
They're just gonna play the game to get this Leshrac BKB.
X observes carnage.
He's gonna get it in 300 gold.
And Radiant's top
Yeah, this Arcane Blink on Shadow Fiend is pretty interesting. If it is either A, to try to burst the Brewmaster before he gets ult off, or B, burst the Terrorblade before he gets spells off. It's pretty much just a bursting tool to kill one hero. It's similar to the old E.O.E, Butcher Travel, Blink, 1000 HP Shadow Fiends that were running around back in the day.
Those are still on all my games. What do you mean? Is that not cool anymore?
It's not as cool these days.
Well, apparently it's pretty cool in that case. But
He's going to no Yules. No Yules, no Boots of Travel.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a little mixture of a build. So this one, it actually scales relatively similar to how the physical does in terms of strength, but in a very different way. So
Foxy setting this up. Expose, big jump, big burst. Does have down.
For so many misses. That's just
and immediately just going to run away.
Under attack.
But bottom lane, they're getting some good pressure onto that tier 2 tower. We'll throw out the Frost Shield to keep it alive a little bit more against the top of the
Man, they get punished for the lack of ability to chase as well. Without the Brew Split there, like they couldn't do anything. They just walked away. Like Mercy and Ursa, they're all just kind of like hobbling up there with this Terrorblade and Leshrac, and they just gotta watch them go.
yeah, I actually think Ori might buy just a Blink this game, just so he can Blink BKB and try to force a fight to happen around his hero. Because Brewmaster doesn't really want to buy a Blink. You don't want to blink in and then try to ult in front of the entire enemy team. Terrorblade as well just wants to exist somewhere in the back of the fight. And the supports are just ranged heroes. They don't want to go in.
Yeah, XSS's Blink is just going to be him getting an Aeon Disc and hoping that lets him get his ulti off by just being in the middle of things.
More Blinks in tow. Then Ursa is going to finish his off. Coming out of the courier now. Hanging on to these mid towers too.
Zai has purchased an Aether Lens instead of a Blink, which is pretty cool. It means that he doesn't have to enter the fight. It's a little different because now it seems like they're not trying to play off the roar. If you don't have a Blink, it's hard to just say, I'm roaring this guy, go, go, go.
Okay, right away. Frost Shield, keeping Ori alive. All that damage mitigation. The stun comes forward, but they got him. The burst was there. Matumba Man was not prepared.
That sharp cookie hop looks so goofy. It's like a big old arc up in the air.
Sinister Gaze. This spell is so, it just like, the cast point of it is so fast, it always catches people off guard. I think even to this day, people are still surprised when they get Sinister Gaze by a Lich.
Yeah, I would agree. Usually they're like hanging back or they just die right away. You don't really expect him to be a Shadow Shaman.
This Arcane Blink is now going to be completed, and with Roche capable of respawning another minute, we'll have to see what the avenue is that they want to go. But Shadow Fiend queuing up the Aghanim Scepter afterwards, so max burst potential. A interesting option, and definitely going to need that Terrorblade to get into the BKB now and have reactions.
Taking many wounds.
The level 20 timing is also very good when he goes Magic and Ags, because it increases the amount of time you can be feared. I think by like 1.2 seconds or something max duration, and the fear goes back in. So once you Arcane Blink with an Ags, it's about 4.5 seconds of fear.
They got him, he's dead. Completely destroyed. It happens in an instant. As soon as that stun hit, we knew.
It's funny because like Cookie's a save, but like even if the Cookie's there, I don't even think it's gonna impact in time, you know?
The travel time of the Cookie's too slow. Yeah. It's 0.8 seconds of cast point for the Shadow Fiend ult right now.
Just like that, you can see the value of this Arcane Blink. I don't think I've seen an item to get picked up and then used immediately that effectively before in a while.
Well, unfortunately for Liquid, it's not the dream scenario where it's an instant Roche or something for them. It's going to be a bit of time, but halfway, a minute and a half timer.
Radiant's top tower is under
Queuing up
attack.
already some of the answers to this Arcane Blink. We saw the Aeon Disc coming out now for the Brew. That's going to need to be the answer.
Radiant's middle tower is under
But he's finishing up
attack.
his BKB. He's just been kind of silent past couple minutes. I think he's just farming. He's pushing out lanes, dealing with the Beastmaster, and there hasn't been really much. Again, ASTER doesn't have the greatest jump. Ori has queued up that Blink. He is going to try to be the guy who goes in there and starts the fights for his team. But they're just kind of hoping Liquid walks into them, and they're able to take the fights like that.
Yeah, I mean, it worked last game, right? You know, it's
True.
Even on the bot rune. Matu walks up on the high ground, they get 2 kills, and they just walk away and get more farm.
I mean, I think the big benefit and the change that we're seeing this time is, of course, All dead. Everybody's dead. That's great. I'm glad we were on a similar page there. I think the big difference this time is, of course, going to be that Beastmaster having those Hawks get sent forward, so they get a little bit better vision before the fights start off.
Yeah, the vision from Liquid is really nice this game compared to the last. On the last game, they just kept blind walking the War. They blind walk to the Pango. He always gets roll off. Aster, the Brewmaster doesn't have the same instantaneous impact of the roll, where it's just constantly stunning. He's a BKB tier you can't kill. But even in this bot fight around the tier 2, the Shadow Fiend ults and almost kills the 2 pandas instantly. Even though he doesn't catch the brew, he almost kills the ult. If the Ursa Panda is the only one alive, it doesn't do anything besides stand there.
Especially versus an Ursa. You know, if he spots that panda, the thing's just gone.
Oh, sure. Well, still playing around their vision right now. Master, they bring out another Blink Dagger. This time I believe this is E.O.E. So mass amounts of blinks, looking for the outplays. And as you mentioned, the casual cloaks here and there, turn those into bigger items eventually. Smoke up as they're going to head up north. Roche has respawned. Have to see if there is going to be that big pivotal fight or not around this war.
See if the evasion can save XSS here. On for the +1x brood up for the evasion.
Sense some danger, moves right in, finds everybody, 4 staff, gets some separation. We'll get hit with the stun. That will be the death of the CM, but do they still want to fight? Expose, pulls back XXS, looking for a chase. They buy back on the CM. TPing in for this fight. Mickey looking for the blink. They still keep them backing away, and XXS in trouble. Aeon disc summons, thinks about popping the ulti, but doesn't drop it yet. Snapfire ultimate, staff separating this. Zai in trouble, roar. Immediately, Mickey gets it, the stun onto everybody, but it's not going to be enough damage. E.O.E survived through it. They need to run away now. But Tumba Man TP's out, will manage to secure that one, but so much used by Liquid, and they still ended up losing that fight immediately into the pit for Master.
It wasn't enough damage on Monet. He has the Titan Sliver, so it takes a little less magic, a little less stun from the fear. And
they don't want to give this up.
Nah, this isn't how they want to go out right now. There's great vision here from Aster, though. Obs and Sentry nearby, going to spot those Hawks, see what's going on. They take it down immediately. Still in the pit, looking for their setup here. No Requiem. They need a big play.
Jump forward. Boxy right on top. It's not quick enough, though. They went too early. Now the axe is getting thrown. Mickey in trouble. Right on top of him. Blows up the Shadow Fiend. But Tumba Man does not have an option. This Frost Shield is impossible to fight in for that Ursa. And Boxy, Frost bouncing back and forth, takes him down. Liquid committed everything for this, and they're going to get nothing.
Oh, Boxy. A little bit of help there from the neutral creeps, carrying on that Chain Frost right from Insania to Boxy and the trolls nearby. Into the pit they go, and Aster, after on the back foot for so much of this game, waiting for that perfect moment, they find it. What a great way to bait that entire fight starting at the outpost.
Unreal, and a little bit of that early commitment there ends up getting punished.
That blink, I mean, you can see the big difference it's making for E.O.E, right? He's able to get into the most important part of that fight right now and force all that attention next to Mickey. Leaves Monet sort of by himself. He can clean up some of these summons that are nearby. And once they take care of Mickey, even with the buyback, he can't get back in time.
Dire structures are fortified.
the biggest question now, I think, is the Ags is really important. Mickey needs this Ags. It does 2 things. It makes the fear come back in after it goes out, and it also reduces the cooldown, which means that you can use it every single fight. You don't have to worry about it. And the biggest thing as well is that they use the Shadow Fiend and they don't get a kill.
Yes.
Yeah.
When his whole build is centered around using the ult and you use a stun and you don't get the kill, you kind of feel bad. This re-engage fight at the Roche pit, he doesn't have BKB, he doesn't have ult, or he just blinks on him and he has no plays. He doesn't have the physical damage to deal with him. He doesn't have a pike. He doesn't have a way to kind of disengage from the fight, so he's just stuck there.
1,500 more gold for Mickey, and we'll see if it's going to be enough to get him where he needs to be. Does hit that level 20 now. But still, easy position to be in. Monet runs into the SF, no way to break that TP, obviously. And man, yeah, this Lich, to so many of these times, has been the difference maker, it feels like. You talked about that Frost Shield on the Leshrac. There really hasn't been an answer for it.
It's just really nice versus all the Dire Heroes, and the adjustment they made with the Arcane Blink is really nice versus it. It gives them the magic damage to kill, but it hasn't really been enough, and it's actually just been enough to deal with this Ursa.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of just like last game where they sort of had a good idea in terms of like how to make it so they're not under so much pressure, but by going for this magic build in order to solve that problem, it actually recreates that pressure issue through the ultimate, since it's so dependent on that to work. I guess it just comes back to vision. again, right? To like make sure you can get that perfect setup and everything goes right. Now, speaking of vision, it does the hot vision.
No lich there, and he is dead. Wow. Brilliant play. Immediately get in there and find him.
Or he got away with that the entire time last game, right? He had so many split push moments exactly like that where he gets tower completely by himself. And now they have that big burst damage.
Well, this game still on a knife's edge. They have the Aegis on that Terrorblade, but we've seen the power that you can have with both split push in this game, as well as just one big burst if everybody is not in position.
Middle tower
So Aster get punished. A DD rune spawning bot though.
This is the same timing Aster had last game. Monet just picks up a butterfly with an Aegis. He's probably going to look to wait for Ori to get alive and then try to maybe even push the mid. Max, I don't really see a way for them to kill him twice. I think to kill him once, they have to use the Shadow Fiend ult, and that means that when he respawns, he's kind of free, especially if he hasn't used his BKB.
Yeah. Feels like it's one of those situations where maybe you can try and get everyone around him.
Boxy to get in towards some help. Cookie forward, but the jump away. And mentioned, Aghanims completed. Aeon Disc still sitting on XXS. You can see that still a very even game here. And Brewmaster is going into that Aghanim Scepter himself next. They will kill off all the
that
creeps.
blink being there.
Yeah, at the same time, Aster doesn't feel the need to force plays if they don't feel comfortable taking these towers, taking this tier 3. Because, again, they still have a Terrorblade, they have so much of the map under their control, they're still kind of getting a gold advantage. So their lineup scales. They're not on a timing. I don't think either of these teams are actually on a timing. Both of them are playing for different items, different levels, that the 25s are really strong, so it's kind of up to whoever is feeling their strongest at the current moment who's going to want to take the fights.
Both supports behind as well as XXS, but Monet in very far. Gonna get stunned. Matumba Man goes forward. They don't want to drop the Requiem for nothing. Rooted, Manta. Matumba Man trying to deal with these illusions. Monet down to half HP. And a chance, a burst, and the Sunder. It came out perfect. There's gonna be the fear. Matumba Man turns the side and keeping him alive, but the Spagad gets doing too much. Slowly burning them down one by one. They need to jump in with Mickey in a second, but I don't know if they have the damage. Mickey thought about it, gets the blink canceled, has to run away. They buy back on Matumba Man. They're coming in for the racks as Aster want to siege this down and take a substantial lead in this game. 8K gold lead already. Monet builds it up. Manta touch to get away. They don't have enough. Sunder 7 seconds off cooldown. If they're not careful, he's just going to be able to get another round of it. And in fact, he's just going to walk away. Aster come in, get what they came for, secure that first set of racks.
Actually just like teasing with the Aegis the entire time there, right? Trying to commit you to this bad fight so you can jump on Monet, get you convinced that, okay, we can get the kill without using the Requiem, right? That's what we need in this case. But Aster the entire time through the series, like the way that they read the fights, it feels perfect. They correctly analyze the threat levels that are coming from each of these heroes. And Ori, like I feel like he's playing on that perfect little bit of risk, right? He's assessing where can I blink in where I'm so close up to my allies, but I'm creating a major problem for side Liquid. And that's what happened to Zai. He just blinked on top of him that fight. Forced to throw out a roar. They couldn't coordinate any of their efforts. So it gives them the racks in the back.
It's also, they use the Aegis at the most annoying timing. There's about 50 seconds to a minute left on it. So you kill him and you're like, okay, well, we just wasted spells. We didn't gain anything from this. It's not like, you know, he had 4 minutes left. It's about to expire, but then if you don't deal with it, he just takes the racks for free.
Of course, that is what ended up happening this time around. It's going to set up for most likely another pivotal Roche fight for the next couple of minutes here when that does come back around. But a 10K gold lead. Aster was able to secure off that with a couple of buybacks spent to boot. Liquid, you got to be feeling a little bit afraid at this stage. But they do get the BKB completed on the Beastmaster now. Many BKBs online.
It feels like this next Roche for Liquid is the big one.
This Roche is really important just because of how kind of committal Liquid's lineup is in terms of they need a BKB versus every single hero on Aster. They need to use Shadow Fiend ult to get a kill. They need to use Roar to get a kill. So anytime they have 2 lives, they have buybacks, they're fighting, even if they're fighting in the Aster base, it's really scary just because of the amount of stuns that Aster has compared to Liquid.
And Liquid currently no gem, so no way to try and go for D-wards or anything, and there it's a pretty valuable vision still remaining outside of Aster, so spotting out like when Zai's rotating through those Ancients. Could give them the edge when it comes to prepping and setting for the next Roche fight. Scythe as well there too, so all that pressure of the perfect fight for Liquid. Great item for breaking that up. You know, your combo breaker's the Aeon disc, but at the same time, you're gonna have that Scythe just catch someone off guard in engagement.
They instantly smoke out. They're gonna try to catch them in their own jungle. Just Roche isn't alive. It can't even start spawning for the next minute, so you just want to kick them out.
This Blink Scythe is just, it's so
careful. Insania, it's the first one they find. The cookie away, that gives some minion, but they're barely able to catch. The Sinister Gaze is enough. So Foxy will go down. What are going to be thankful it's not more, but ASTER keep this pressure on.
They know where they are. They saw the couriers moving through their ward right now, but they're running up here. Catch that ward from Liquid as well.
Ward up on the high ground. ASTER continue the bully. And an AC almost completed on XXS.
The hardest question right now for Liquid is what is their timings that makes them feel like it changes anything? And are they too far away? So Mickey's going for a sheep, which I think will change a lot. It lets him actually kill these heroes by himself and not have to worry about the stuns. And Matu's going for MKB, but they're both about 3,000 gold away from their items. And I don't think they'll have the time to wait for these items, so they have to decide whether are they giving up Roche and taking the items, or are they going to try to force a fight and just take a proper positioning fight, which is also another option because, again, Liquid can win a fight based on positioning.
Yeah, if they get that big jump.
If they get the jump, if they get the burst, the Terrorblade dies, maybe he doesn't have a buyback. He is buying out right now. He's actually buying a full Daedalus, so he won't have buy if they kill him at this Roche fight.
Well, it's a similar timing here as well. The Aegis are halfway through, so see if they can find that positioning, and yep, Daedalus is there, delivered.
And you can see the Hawk scouting for the Roche respawn time. It is a minute away right now. As ASTER going into the pit, they check it. That was spotted by Liquid. And it does look like they'll have at least a little bit more time now to get in towards those items. Not sure if it's going to be enough.
Also, something cool is Monet has a Blink Dagger. I think his idea is even if you blink on the Shadow Fiend, if he doesn't get the Arcane Blink buff off, his ult is not as strong. He can't use it as fast, and you kind of force it so once Shadow Fiend can never get gone on if they want to win the fight. He can't get clipped by anything that cancels his blink. He can't get hit once by the Shadow Fiend or slowed or anything. He has to be able to be like completely free and get a jump when he wants to get the jump. So all these Blink Daggers on ASTER now on both of the cores of the Lesh and the Terrorblade are going to kind of cancel that out.
It kind of, unfortunately, it feels like a lot of their cores feel that way, you know? I mean, I guess Zai is the one who can maybe be in there a little bit with the help of some creeps.
Pretty much the only one, and of course you see those Hawks flying over the top. They do scout out that ASTER is sitting in the exact same spot where they were last game. They get into the MKB for the Ursa. A couple of other items getting picked up.
They're putting down floor rugs, hanging some nice decorations on the wall, some framed pictures of the family, you know? Really furnishing the environment. It's not nice.
But there's a, oh, interesting. The Timeless Relic is given to Insania for slows, and then the Spell Prism for Mickey.
In for a big wraparound here from Liquid as ASTER on the other side of it. We'll have to see if they want to head on up and find a way in the pit, but Terrorblade already seen that Roche is back up. Monet's just going to keep fighting. They're waiting for them to come to ASTER.
They just need to catch the right hero on ASTER. If they catch the Brewmaster, sad, he is Andis. If they catch a support and you have to use your ult on him, it's also kind of sad because now you can't use him on the cores. So you have to catch the Terrorblade or you have to catch the Lesh. ASTER's just in such a nice position that Terrorblade illusions are breaking everything so they can't sneak Roche. They're playing under their wards, they're playing as 5, so you're going to constantly have to walk into the team. They're even pressuring the base with the illusions. There's just so many things that is kind of pulling Liquid apart just around the map.
He also just had his buyback as well on Monet as well, so that very small window but could have been hazardous is now gone too.
Left on Ursa's, but doesn't have the gold to get there once it comes back up again.
It's actually impossible to jump him first. Like, look at how he's sitting. He's got heroes on both sides. He's ninja geared there.
He's smoked up,
hanging out, making sure that the Hawks don't spawn anything. He's not the guy you're gonna get. They fully recognize this is the only way they lose this fight.
This is the most defensive play that I feel like I've seen from a team in forever. It's because they know.
And that's after last game.
Exactly, right?
The exact same thing.
They know that this is the only way it works. And there's creeps hitting the tier 4 towers. Like, Liquid need to deal with this. They're literally gonna lose their base if they don't make a move. And Liquid, they just can't. They're stuck in a chokehold. Matumba Man heads back, and now they're all alone.
The second they see the TPs, they just walk in the Roche.
ASTER, ready to go. Matumba Man and the rest of them are going to need to get back out close and quick, but it's not going to come quickly enough.
I believe it's Shadow Fiend himself who says, outplayed, you know?
Unreal.
That's how this feels.
such clean Dota being played by ASTER.
Oh, he wants that Agnes Blessing. He's taking it.
And now smoke up from ASTER. We'll see if they make the move.
I'm the Shadow Fiend now. I got the Terror Wave.
They find one. It's XXS. That's not who you want at the start. Ori moves on in. BKB already out. Matumba Man runs away. The Terror Wave. Walk forward. The Frost Shield. It's not quite enough from Matumba Man. And now the Hex. The turn. They chase him down. They kill him out. No buyback for 2 minutes. And just like that, ASTER take a dominant control over this game. 20k gold lead now. With that Agnes in the lift up there. They found Mickey. Can he manage to escape? The BKB runs on in, pulls him out. Nicely done. But
he does have buyback on the Marcy.
And they're ready to go for the next round. Up to the high ground. ASTER, they can feel it now.
Zai's in behind, but no roar here. Just has to watch. See if they can find a plan. They just in the fountain.
Hoping for something. Tumba Man does have buyback and 400 gold, but it's not going to come soon enough. ASTER going to give him the time. The 4-staff keeps Insania alive, but on to the tier 4 towers now. ASTER, the last team in the upper bracket from China. Head on in. Mickey goes with the big ulti. Isn't going to be enough, though. XXS pops it immediately, turns to 5. Looks for some more. Monet, he's actually not hitting the throne right now.
Here he comes.
But they move on in, and Monet ready to battle. Heads on towards the Ancient. They start beating away at it. Eyes on the prize. The Chain Frost back and forth between the two of them. And with that, wait the fear. They move away. Another round of end jump forward, but GG is called. ASTER, they win the game. They win the series 2 over Liquid.
Really nice performance from ASTER. I think, especially the way they play the mid game, the late mid game, when they are